Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Whoops, come closer.
And welcome. And thank you to Steve for the beautiful prelude music to set the beautiful mood for us to come together and pray this evening. And let's begin. Hine matov, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Behold how good and how pleasant it is for us to come together as brothers and sisters.
Page 2, number 7.
Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Try it with us.
Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
How good it is.
How good it is,
How sweet it is.
how sweet it is
To be together on this day.
How good it is.
how good it is,
How sweet it is.
how sweet it is
To be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Now after me. How good it is.
how good it is,
How sweet it is.
how sweet it is
To be together on this day.
How good it is.
how good it is,
How sweet it is.
how sweet it is
To be together on this day.
Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem. Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem. Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem. Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem. Salam Aleikum.
Shabbat Shalom once again, and welcome to our friends who are joining us at home. So nice for us to be together. Even if we're not all sitting in the same room, we still are a kehillah, we still are a holy community. I don't know if anyone else is feeling this way. We've had a lot of praying and a lot of time spent in synagogue, and a lot of positive and wonderful time for our own personal spiritual deepening and awakening, I hope. I came into the room and Steve was sitting at the piano and we said hello to each other, and I asked him, "How you doing?" And he said, "Great, I feel refreshed." And he asked me, "How you doing?" And I said, "Great, I feel refreshed spiritually and exhausted physically." And that's the state of things, after a day of fasting, after a day of being together. And of course, Lindy and I are doing a lot of standing on Yom Kippur, but in the end, it really is a spiritual uplift, and I feel good, and I hope you do too. And we have to remember that while the big high holidays, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, are now behind us, we're still in the season, right? Sukkot is just a few days ahead of us, and in many ways, these holidays are connected. In fact, there's a tradition when you come home on the eve of Yom Kippur, the first thing you're supposed to do is to go outside and put in the first nail in the building of your sukkah, the portable structure that we build on Sukkot. Some people actually live in it for the entire week. Many of us take meals in it, celebrate, welcome friends and family to come sit together. It's a joyous holiday, but it carries through with many of the themes, the serious themes of the high holidays. We're sitting out in the beauty of nature, but we're thinking about our own fragility, how small we are in a vast universe. We hope it doesn't rain, but it might. It usually does the day after I put up my sukkah. But we purposely expose ourselves to the elements and go out to feel that connection to God and to the universe, to remind ourselves of our fragility, but at the same time to count our blessings. So let's try and stay in that mode and spirit of the Yomim HaNoraim, the days of awe. And let's continue to bring in this Shabbat with Lecha Dodi.
Find the page for you. It's on page 6. We're doing verses 1, 2, and 4, I believe. Hum diddy dum diddy lecha dodi, hum diddy dum diddy likrat kala, hum diddy dum diddy I die 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 I die 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 die. Hum diddy dum diddy likrat kala, hum diddy dum diddy hum diddy dum. Nekavela lecha dodi lecha dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat pene Shabbat nekavela shamor vezachor v'dibor echad tishmi'anu Adonai echad u'shemo echad Hashem u'tiferet ve'letiva lecha lecha dodi lecha dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat pene Shabbat nikavela likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki mekor habracha merosh mekedem lesucha sof ma'aseh v'machshavat tchila lecha dodi lecha dodi likrat kala Hum diddy dum diddy lecha dodi, hum diddy dum diddy likrat kala la. Hum diddy dum diddy yai dai dai dai, hum diddy dum diddy yai dai dai dai. I think we got out of practice there.
We continue with the lighting of our candles for Shabbat, and it's my pleasure to invite Barbara Schwartz to have the honor of lighting the candles. Hard to blow
Don't
out the
burn
match through a
yourself
mask.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu Lehad likner shel Shabbat.
Thank you, Barbara. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Our service continues now on page 9,
9.
and I invite those who are able to please rise or to rise in your heart as we join together in the call to prayer.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated.
Page 10.
Et Adonai Elohecha, B'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha, v'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Standing at the water's edge, the sea spray on your cheek, close your eyes and feel within the beating of freedom's drum. Listen closely on the breeze. Do you hear the music of the ages? O God, you beat the drum. You are the song. You are the wonder in each of us. With joy and awe, we sing to you this song of freedom. La 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 la
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה. זה אלי, ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Here we go. לילה 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 We're on page 13. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים
Shabbat vayirafash v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam brit olam v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat.
A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind, joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day, and eternity utters a day. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind, and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day, and eternity utters a day. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai. Those who are able, please rise. Bottom of page 13. Adonai, Sifatai, Sifatai Tiftai, Ufi, Yagita Hilatecha. Adonai, Sifatai, Sifatai Tiftai, Ufi, Yagita Hilatecha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu ve'Imoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Leah Elohei Rachel Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Ve'konei Chachol Ve'zocher Chastei Avot ve'imahot Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Lema'an Shemo ve'ahava Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, michaye hakol, atah rav lehoshia, mechakel chaim bechesed, mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofech olim, umatir asurim, umekayim emunato lishanei afar, michamocha bal gevurot, umido melach, melech meimi, umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, vene'eman nata lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, michaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom, yehalelu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated.
Continue with Shalom Rav on page 16. Grant us peace, your most precious gift. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. 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 Ki atah melech Adon, lecho hashalom. Ki atah melech Adon, lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'necha livarech et amcha Yisrael, b'chol עת ובכל שעה, בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Let us take a few quiet moments to turn inward to our own thoughts and our own prayers. The prayers that aren't written on a page in a siddur for us, the prayers that are written on our hearts. Tfilat Halev, prayer of the heart.
Adonai Tzori, Adonai Tzori, Megoali, Megoali. May the words of my mouth, may the words and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my
Well, the high holy days are a time when rabbis talk a lot and deliver a lot of big sermons with hopefully a lot of provoking thoughts, sermons that have big messages that hopefully leave you thinking and give you a lot to think about. And I don't know, at times I feel we can only take in so much. And I guess this is my segue into saying that this evening, instead of a big sermon, what I'd just like to do is to share with you a beautiful story and a few words of commentary at the end. After all, I am a rabbi. Once, an elderly Jewish couple in a tiny Russian village was forced by the government to take in a soldier who was marching with his troops through the countryside. The couple moved out of their bedroom, and the young man, all gruffness and glare, moved in with his pack, his rifle, and bedroll. And he lay on the bed ramrod straight, as if he were still standing at attention. His boots still laced tightly on his feet, and he stared at the ceiling in silence. Every question, every invitation to engage in conversation was met with a grunt, a single-word answer, or usually, "Niet," no. It happened to be Friday night, and the couple prepared to sit down for their Shabbat dinner. The soldier took his place at the table. He glared at them with contempt. Only now could they see how young he was. As the old woman kindled the Shabbat candles, covered her eyes, and recited the blessing, the soldier's eyes grew softer, and he stared with wonder. The words were strange to him, but the scene somehow familiar. In some way, he recognized the rhythm and the melody of her prayer. He listened as the old man chanted the Kiddush and the Motzi. Once again, the prayers were strange to him, but somehow familiar. He knew none of the words, but the melody, he knew it from somewhere, from some time. The soldier quickly devoured the hunk of challah put on the plate before him, and speaking for the first time, asked for more. His voice was not that of a hardened soldier, but that of a boy lost in the world. His face was the picture of bewilderment. Something about this picture, the sight of the candles, the melody of the prayers, the taste of the challah was familiar. It touched him in some mysterious way. But how could it be? He had never been here before. He never met these people. He never visited the village. How could it be familiar? Suddenly the young man arose from his seat at the table, and he beckoned the old man to follow him back into the bedroom. He pulled out his heavy backpack from the floor under the bed, and he began to pull things out. Clothes, equipment, ammunition, until finally at the very bottom of the bag he pulled out a small velvet bag tied with a drawstring. "Can you tell me, perhaps, what this is?" he asked the old man, his eyes now gentle and imploring. The old man took the bag in his trembling fingers and loosened the string. Inside was a tiny child's talit, tefillin, and a small book of Hebrew prayers. "When did you get this?" the old man asked the soldier. The soldier answered, "I have always had them. I don't remember when." Then the old man opened the prayer book, and he read the flyleaf, his eyes filling with tears. "To our son, Yasala, taken from us as a boy. Should you ever see your bar mitzvah, know that you are a Jew. Be proud and know that wherever you are, your mama and your papa love you." The old man closed the book, turned to the soldier, and embraced him. The young soldier tried to fight back the tears, but he was unsuccessful. His tears and the tears of the old man mingled as the old man whispered into his ear, "Welcome home, Yasala. Welcome home." The knapsack is a story about what is within each of us that we do not yet know or recognize. It's a story about a light, about a holy spark, a presence of strength that is deep within us and might be the spark that helps us to do the next right thing, or is the inner strength that helps us to do what we think is not possible for us to do. And I think it's also a story about the hidden reserves of emotion and strength that we all are carrying in our souls that are so often forgotten or get pushed down underneath all the collected provisions, all the stuff we are carrying from a lifetime of experience, the good and the bad and everything in between. With Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur in the rearview mirror and Sukkot just a few days away, I think this is a good time for us to dig deep into our spiritual knapsack, to search out and find what might be buried deep inside. We might have forgotten the strength we once had, the strength we once found that got us through a difficult challenge, or we might find the depth of emotion we had the first time we fell in love, or the utter amazement and joy upon seeing the ocean or a rainbow or a falling star for the first time. Those exuberant, unfiltered emotions and that inner strength is still there for us to call upon, to overcome our cynicism and our malaise, and to deepen and enrich our days and help us to live lives of meaning and wonderment. So I leave you with a question to ponder on this Shabbat and in the days ahead. What hidden treasures are buried deep within your spiritual knapsack? Ken Yehi Ratzon. May it be God's will. Amen.
Amen. We continue on page 23.
And we say a Mishaberach, a blessing for strength and for healing for our friends and family who need not only our blessings, but our visits, our phone calls, whatever we can do to bring some strength in their time of healing, in their time of need. On this Shabbat, we remember, oh, I forgot, everyone out there joining us from home, we invite you to please share in the chat the names of friends and family for whom you'd like to pray Mishaberach. And we remember Kathy. We're praying for Kathy Robertson, Gail Weiss, Diane Dakin, Randy Watkins, Gabrielle Lopez-Smith, Rebecca Williams, Philip Blair, Leslie Hirschfield, Victor Altman, Susie Kritzer, Rose Machado, Phyllis Klein, Larry Goldman, Casey Campbell-Shadman.
And those in our congregation would like to say the
And I invite
names.
you to say aloud the names of friends and family.
And we'd like to add Zachary Reiger, Lynn Fortis, Scott Neistat, Sue Bassett, Adolph Evnen, Leanne Binowitz, Beryl Binowitz, and Sherry Evnen.
And let us join together in our Mishaberach prayer for healing. On page 23.
Lila Arian, Brock Blair, Amanda Dennis, and Judy, a friend of Rebecca's.
And we add to those names mentioned aloud all of us who are in need of these same blessings for refuat hanefesh and refuat haguf, for healing of mind and body and spirit. Baruch atah Adonai rofeh hacholim. Blessed are you, O God, who heals the sick.
Amen. We continue with a prayer for our country and the state of Israel. Guardian of life and liberty, grant blessings to our country. Grant our leaders patience and wisdom. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and may we never be lazy in the work of peace. Eternal God, grant blessings to the state of Israel.
Protect her people,
shelter them with peace, and grant them deliverance from the violence that surrounds them. May they live in harmony with one another and with their neighbors. May the bonds of faith and faith that unite the Jews of all lands be a source of strength and blessing to each of us and to all the world. And let us say, Amen. Continue on page 25.
Those who are able, please rise.
It's up to us to call ourselves to task, to sing what's good and true, to bring about redemption. It's what we were free to do. For what's the point of being here if we're not moved to change our ways? Aleinu l'shabeach. It's time to live our praise. We are carrying the stories of the ones who came before. But stories will be told of us when we are here no more. We commit ourselves to action. It brings meaning to our days. Aleinu l'shabeach. It's time to live our praise. It's up to us to own the vision. We are an answer to a call. It's up to us to live the words we speak for the benefit of all. It's up to us to bow down deeply. There's a broken world to raise. Aleinu l'shabeach. It's time to live our praise. Aleinu l'shabeach. It's time to live our praise. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol. Lateit gedula leotzer breshit. Shelo asanu kigoyei ha'aratzot. Velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama. Shelo zam chelkeinu kahem. Vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. Vanachnu korim umishtachavim umodim. Livnei melech malchei hamlachim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'ne'emar v'chaya Adonai lemelech hakol haaretz. Bayom hahu yihyeh Adonai echad. Ushemo echad.
Maybe seated. We take always a quiet and reverent moment at the end of our service to remember and to bring forward the memories of our loved ones who are no longer with us physically, but whom we carry in our hearts and in our minds. And so they continue to carry and to bless us. This week, we are remembering Craig Deutsch, who died a week ago and is remembered with love by his mother, Sandy Deutsch. and we mourn the sudden passing of Morris Goldman, remembered with love by Jack and Elizabeth Tannenbaum. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. If there is anyone from home who is in the Shloshim, the 30 days period of mourning, or the Shana, the first year of mourning, or if you have a yortzeit, I invite you to share your loved one's name in the chat so that we might bring their name into this holy space. If there is anyone here in the Shloshim or the Shana, I invite you now to stand and to share your loved one's name with us. We remember with love William Guilford, Hildy Lilienstein, Manfred Lilienstein, Samuel Taylor, Faye Brum, Morris Holzman, Nancy Kehoe, Herman Vogel, Sarah Feingold, Paul Yashino, Dr. Saul Heiser, Lucy Heiser, David Clare, Walter Meritstein, Jonas Gell, Elaine Porras, Bruce Soretsky, Alex Zeff, Nathan Berg, Ruth Young, Jean David Eskew, John Schwartz, Marcia Mimi Myers, Manny Chazen, Marcia Lena Lau, Robert Block, Barbara Brockman, Aaron Bronstein, Gerald Sheldon Crane, Marjorie Ginsburg Morris, John Lackman, and Jules Tratner.
We add to those names Susanna Lopez, remembered by Martin Lopez, and Joyce Cohen.
Remembered with love by her son Steve, her daughter Cece, and sister Jackie Seltzer. And we continue now on page 26, as we invite you all to stand for Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalmad divra cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah u'vorach le'olam u'lomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudisha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to the bereaved among us. And we say,
Amen.
Please be seated.
Thank you again to Barbara Schwartz for the honor of lighting our candles, and to Steve for playing our prelude music this evening. And just a couple of announcements. Jewish Learning Lab classes are meeting this Sunday. Hoping you'll join us for Sukkot celebration next Friday. We'll start with a bring your own picnic dinner at 6:15. Services begin at 7:30, and young adults are invited to sangria in the sukkah at 8:45. I guess we're not considered young adults, Jason.
How young do we have to be?
I think we're too old. I think we are. Yeah. Not exactly sure if we are going to be on YouTube that night. So if those of who are watching from home don't find us, we are sorry. We're going to
try.
We're going to do our best, but it's going to be outside, so we'll see what happens. We also will be celebrating the last of the fall holidays, Simchat Torah, on Sunday, September 26th at 10:30 in the morning. If you remember last year, we had visits from Abraham, Miriam, Aaron, and Joshua, all played by
They all looked a
same
little
person.
bit like me for some reason.
This year, we'll be welcoming a whole new team. from the Torah to visit our sanctuary. Funny how they all look so much like you.
Funny how that works.
Okay. If you'd like to attend Simchat Torah in person, we'll be requiring proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test done within 72 hours, and more will be on your e-blast. Thank you tonight to Ari.
And there will be our school students in, just so you know.
Yes, it is a school day, so.
But everyone's invited.
And that's it. Thank you, Ari, for getting us online. And let's end our service this evening with Oseh Shalom, again talking about peace. We're on page 27 if you need it. Otherwise, you can clap.
Oseh Shalom Imrama, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Le'al Kol Yisrael, Le'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom Imrama, Say shalom aleinu, le'al kol Yisrael, le'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, amen. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Have a wonderful Shabbat and a wonderful week ahead. Be careful putting up your sukkah. Don't have an accident. We look forward to seeing you next week or as we celebrate Sukkot. Shabbat Shalom. And everybody who's still